Hey, welcome to Randy's Road Life. So glad you can join me today. Important video and kind of a disclaimer at the same time. If you've seen the title, you can get a gist of what's about to happen here in this monologue, if you want to call it that. Feel free to comment, share the video, so other people can be informed of these particular things, and like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. All these things, they actually help out the algorithm, get the channel out there. It pops up a lot easier on YouTube and certain searches and things like that. So let's get into it. All right. So this past summer, at the very end of June-ish, right, I purchased a truck via finance, actually, from Kordell Truck and Trailer Sales out of Dubuque, Iowa. The financer was actually River Valley, okay? And I went through a salesman by the name of Avery. Not sure if I'm actually supposed to put his name in there, but at this point I don't really care. So there's that. And they had a program. It was the 5K program. You know, you put $5,000 down, and you get a truck. And so there were certain trucks in their inventory on their website that were available. Eventually, my truck came up. It was not in the inventory, and I don't know where they dug this truck up at, but in my ignorance and excitement at the time, really, truthfully, I went and got the truck. Had good support, things like that, even from Caracas Transportation. And that's where the ambiance ended completely. Okay. I noticed driving the truck home, the fuel mileage was absolutely atrocious. I was getting bobtailing. I was bobtailing home, and I wasn't even getting 8 miles to the gallon, just bobtail. It was unbelievable. You know, I was around 7.5 or something like that. I got all these text messages also, and I got all the messages from the salesman about the problems with the truck on top of that. But so I knew there was an engine problem, maybe some sensors going wrong with the engine. The transmission was acting up also. RPMs were going through the roof and during shifts. It was actually running about 400 to 500 RPMs higher than what it should have been. Sometimes it was shifting up to 2,000 RPMs. It's shifted up to 2,500 RPMs. I actually had to start manually shifting the truck, okay, with the automated shifter thing on the shifter itself. So there was that. Drive shaft was malfunctioning. I think it was loose in the yoke or something, because it was rattling very badly, especially under a load. Even an empty trailer, it was doing that, and it was very loud, so it was doing that too. The very first week I started actually driving the truck, that's, you know, I drove it one day, took it home, it parked for a couple weeks. I finally got it on the road with Caracas. And that at the end of that week, the APU stopped working. And so there was that also. Man, it was nuts. The fuel mileage under a load I was getting about 5.5 miles to the gallon on average. And still have, now I even have a video that I sent the salesman. I was stuck in fuel islands, and it's not the first time. It happened many times, where I would go to put the truck in drive and nothing. It wouldn't do anything. The red light would start blinking on the shifter, and that's it. And I couldn't go in reverse. I couldn't go in the drive. What I had to do is do a reset through the ignition. All right. And then I come to find out through the ELD diagnostics that there were faults on the truck that were not showing up on the dash. And so this showed and proved that Kordell may have had somebody, or their mechanics had the codes deleted from the computer, or the lights. They put out the lights on the dash that wouldn't show the faults, or they did something that it would not show the faults in the truck itself. Not one time did a fault ever come through on the dash. It was only on the ELD, through the ELD diagnostics. Okay. So there were many issues with the truck, and so after, my plan was to get the truck fixed. I had called the warranty department. The warranty only covered the engine, the transmission, and the rears. And so I called them, and we was getting stuff worked out. And I was going to try to take the truck to a shop for a couple weeks to start getting it worked on. But I could, because of the expenditures, the truck ran me probably $800 to $1,000 over operating costs per week. So almost $4,000 additional every month. It was completely outrageous. It was so hard to keep the truck and operated that long. And finally, the floor just completely fell out, and I couldn't maintain it anymore. It was just way too expensive to run the truck, and I couldn't make the payments on the truck anymore. And so because Dubuque, Kordell Truck and Trailer Sales, or the salesman, asked me if I could bring the truck to Dubuque to get it fixed. A complete asinine and ridiculous inquiry. Because think about this, right? First of all, they're at fault for allowing this truck to come out of their lot in the first place. The truck should have never been sold. All right. There's that. Another thing is, I come there and the truck ends up in the shop for 1 to 2 weeks. Where do I stay? Who pays for the hotel? Who pays for all the fees and costs that I incur as a result of not working, for that entire time? And so I think they purposely did that in order to give themselves some type of argument, some type of a platform to argue from, saying, well, we reached out to see if we can get it, for us to fix it. That's not reasonable. You wanted me to come back to Dubuque, Iowa. Like there's plenty of loads that's going to Dubuque, Iowa out of nowhere. Just pick one, right? And then on top of that, I have to pay for the trailer. I had to park the trailer, and I got all these other fees and costs I still have to pay, while the truck is in a shop, the same shop that allowed this truck to hit the road and in this unsafe condition. So that was the truth in that matter, right? And I just could not get up the revenue to get the truck fixed, and it was extremely frustrating, and I had sent messages after messages, and I was, oh yeah, we're gonna look into this, I want to show them the video, and nothing ever happened, man. Everything got swept under the rug, and they just, I heard many times the salesman said, oh, we stand by our trucks 100%. That's a lie. It's a flat out, flagrant, blatant lie. Okay? They don't stand behind their trucks 100%. They'll let you fail. They will most definitely let you fail. And it'll be in their truck that you're going to fail in. Okay? And, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the worst customer service experience I've ever had. And I cannot in good faith refer Kordell Truck and Trailer Sales to anybody. This is my experience. It's and it's also my opinion, but it's my experience with these people, that they just don't care. It's the typical used car salesman tactic to butter you up and become your buddy and get some laughs and try to relate over some football and sports and things like that and whatever you like, and then get you jovial enough to sell you the equipment and send you upon your way, and then you're stuck. So it's a very deceitful, misleading process that you go through. It's the guise of familiarity and friendliness the guise of kindness when it's not. There's nothing like that. So it's just it's a horrible place to buy a truck, in my experience, in my opinion. And so I told Emily from River Valley, I'm going to drop this name because I'm going to tell you what I told her. We talked about this truck on many occasions. I told her the things that are wrong with the truck, also not just Avery, okay, that the truck is unsafe to drive. Today they're picking the truck up. So the fleet manager where I'm working now, he called me and said, hey man, they're here to pick up the truck because I had him take the plate and all that stuff off the truck, and they had the key. So whoever was going to pick the truck up had to check into the office. They're going to take a photo ID of his, a photocopy of his ID and all that type of stuff. And I just hope he doesn't drive the truck. You know, I'm not saying it's going to crash or anything like that. The truck is not a safe, it's not safe to drive and operate on the public roads. It's not. It should be towed. You know, the way I parked it in a pull-in position. That way they can tow it from the rear, so they didn't have to take the drive shaft out. All right. So I did that for that reason. It'd been much easier to tow it like that. But I'm not sure how they're going to do this. I hope they didn't have anyone drive it back. I think that would be a massive mistake, and I hope that individual is safe if they do decide to do that. And so I just I want this to be on a record that the truck is a hazard, and I could not, in good faith or in any type of confidence whatsoever, drive that truck on public roads safely any longer, right? And this is all due to Kordell Truck and Trailer Sales not backing up their word like they said they would, and not, you know, helping me fix all these pre-existing conditions in the truck. And so, I mean, the totality of circumstances evolved into this. And so here we are, this video, and me explaining to you a horrific experience I had with this company out of Dubuque, Iowa, called Kordell Truck and Trailer Sales. And that's Kordell, okay? And salesman, his name is Avery. And he's a liar, right? And that's my opinion. He's a liar. And he's going to try to butter you up, sell you a truck, and sell you a trash can at that, man. Maybe they have some good trucks there. I don't know. My truck was horrible. Maybe you get a better truck than I do. I would advise not to go there, but if you do, what I would do after this, knowing this information, is take that truck and have it thoroughly inspected. All right. So I wish I could tell you more right now, but I thought it was pertinent to give you this information. That way you can make a good decision that brings about positive outcomes. Even if you go to another dealership, right? Whether it's Lone Mountain or accelerated leasing and things like that. You know, some of these places have pretty decent reputations. I've heard some good stuff about accelerated leasing. I heard some good stuff about Lone Mountain. Look, check the truck out, man. Do an honest and thorough inspection, because no one is perfect. They might have good mechanics, but maybe they missed something. Oh, and here's another thing that you should know that Kordell Truck and Trailer Sales did. And this is actually illegal. They stated that they did an annual DOT inspection. And they gave me a piece of paper, and it was for May of 23, right? They handed me a blank DOT inspection sticker to put on the truck, completely blank. They said, have someone else fill this out. We already did the inspection. I did not realize it at the time, but that's not appropriate, okay? The people who actually do the inspection have to also fill out the sticker that goes on your truck, on the outside of the truck, right? They absolutely did that. And it was Avery who handed me the blank sticker, okay? So there was that. Had I known that at the time, there would have been some issues right then and there. But That was my ignorance, and that's my fault for not knowing, but that's what they did. So it is not beneath them to do things that are absolutely illegal. So with that, this is how it all ended. Their River Valley came picked the truck up, and we emailed each other, and the truck was parked in a secured lot. It was not parked at a truck stop. It was not abandoned. It was in a secured place in a yard at the company I'm now working for. So we all had an agreement on how things would be done, and everything was done peacefully through those means. And so that's the end of that. Now, whatever ensues from there between me and River Valley, that's another thing. But I have deemed this truck to be unfit to drive. It's a hazard to be put on the public roads. It's dangerous. Okay, so take what you want from that. That is my affirmation, and I would say that also under the penalty of perjury. I would, And so with that, I'm gonna bid you guys adieu. I love all you guys. You guys have a very peaceful and blessed rest of your evening. Deuces.